anyone who wants to call and talk to me about it anytime. I'm in the book. First question that often gets asked is time commitment. That's nuts and bolts what it's about. I would say it's about half of what Kirsten described as city council. It varies a lot. If a hot issue comes up, you can be sucked into lots of hours, and sometimes it's very exciting. During normal times, things can be a little quieter. So, average, you got to figure 20 hours a month. Okay? But it'll vary. It is not the beginning and the end of your life, but it is serious thing. So I recommend doing it. In terms of topics, what's before the board, you can always think of school board topics in sort of three areas, and this is the way we often talk about goal planning and long-term strategic planning. There's issues that relate to the heart of the matter with the kids, and those are curriculum reviews, testing protocols, staffing issues, any kind of school activities, programs, etc. All that stuff. Unfortunately, that tends to be a smaller part of the job, or maybe fortunately, because we have good educational leaders who run our school system on an operational level, and so the board will hear those issues on a broader policy level. That's really the fun part, which you're talking about kids. The next level is issues that have to do with facilities. There's buildings and land acquisitions, things like that. Those are fascinating. Those are exciting. Because building a new school is a really exciting thing, but something you do with a lot of forethought and a lot of careful analysis. That's sort of the second group of areas. And the third group of areas, I guess you could probably all guess, is money, it's money, and it's money. The schools are in a terrible crunch. We used to complain, I remember back in the mid-90s when we had like a $250,000 cut from the budget. At that point, it was probably $20 million. We were just in agony. I mean, we spent weeks agonizing over where to take that out of the system. The school system in the last 2 years has cut millions and millions of dollars because of state cuts. So right now, they're reeling under some incredible cuts in their resources. If you run the school board, you need to be ready to roll up your sleeves and really get down into that issue. That's probably the most important thing that's happening right now. How to keep the quality of education high while we have continually less and less resources from the state. It's a tough call, but you talk to school board members nowadays, and that's what they're spending most of their time doing. But it's extremely gratifying because you're talking about on-the-ground things that affect kids. And I guess I just wanted to say, why did I run for 3 terms in the school board? Because it was probably one of the most rewarding things I've done in my life. And it sounds small to me, but I really urge you to realize that if you go into something like this, if you have an attitude of passion, it will be an incredible experience. And I think that's probably true for city, parks, and other boards as well. So for me, the chance to engage myself with my kids' main institutional existence was really great. I had 3 kids in the school system, and the school board let me connect with them at a level that was above base scale volunteers. And so I could use my intellect, my skills, and they loved it. The kids didn't really know what we were talking about, but they loved the fact that their dad was out there involved. So if you don't have a passion for kids as the life of this community, you probably ought to think about some other board. You don't have to be a parent, but it sure helps. But by and large, you have to be passionate about the life of children in this community. Okay? The second great thing about being on the school board, and this is true of any board, hopefully,